And it occurs to me that this might also turn off my husband's office, so we'll see. All right, 13B, basement, basement ground. We have this track light in our upstairs hallway, but the way our house is designed, the light actually shines all the way down onto the first floor of the house, and it's been out for a while, which has been a really big bummer. But I finally found a new light that I actually like that I want to replace today. This one's by Allen & Roth. I bought it at Lowe's. It was about $125, which is actually not that expensive for track lighting. And the reason why I like this one better is that instead of having the flexible track arms that you have to drill into your ceiling, this one actually has rigid arms that are on these hinges, and you can adjust them once you get them up there. Now, the other reason why I like this fixture so much is that it takes regular 60-watt bulbs instead of track lighting bulbs, which are just a lot more expensive, and sometimes they're even kind of hard to find. All right, now the first thing I need to do is go turn off the power to that area at the breaker. Unfortunately, I don't actually know which of these controls the hallway, and since the light fixture is out, I can't just turn it on and flip a bunch of switches and see if it turns off. So I know there's a few that it's definitely not because they're marked as AC or dryer or washer, but there's a few things that it could be, and I'm just gonna flip all of them and make sure the whole thing is turned off. All right, 13B, back bedroom and guest bedrooms. Now, another option is to use a multimeter to check that the power is indeed off at that fixture, but unfortunately our multimeter is at our camper right now in storage, so I don't have the option of using that today. Now, a lot of people are a little bit afraid to do a project like this the first time, which is completely understandable. I mean, we've all been taught a very healthy respect for electricity and fear, but this kind of a project is actually pretty easy. If you're just exchanging one fixture for another, it's actually usually pretty straightforward. Now, if I was going to move this fixture to a different location or try to install a fixture somewhere where there wasn't one already, I would definitely be calling an electrician at this point. There is a reason why you have to apprentice for 4 years before you can become an electrician. I feel like I do a lot of videos where my head's up by my ceiling. Right. Oh, there we go. Okay, now on these, you have 3 separate wires. Black is the hot wire, white is the neutral wire, and then the copper or the green is going to be your grounding wire. Now, sometime in the early 70s, it became part of the National Electric Code in the United States to have a grounding wire in all outlets or receptacles in the house. Someone out there correct me if I'm wrong, but if you have a home that's older than, say, the 1960s or so, you may find that you don't have grounding wires in your wiring. And if that's the case, you might want to consider saving up your money and hiring an electrician to redo the wiring in your house. All right. All right, so we're going to have our hot wire, neutral wire, grounding wire. Hear that beeping? It turns out that one of the breakers I turned off is also the same breaker that our house alarm is on. So it's beeping constantly. This fixture came with a small harness that's intended to help you hold the fixture in place while you wire it to the ceiling. Unfortunately, that wasn't really working out very well for me.
Hey, you know?
Yeah?
It might be easier if I hold this thing up and you just deal with the cables.
Well, maybe. If you wanted to grab a chair and just kind of hold on to it, that might make it easier. Yes, please do, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Here's what's going on behind my husband's head. Twist the ends of the 2 grounding wires together, and then twist an electrical cap over them in the same direction that you twisted them together so that everything stays together nice and tightly. Then repeat the process for the white or neutral wire and the black or hot wire. You may find that you don't have enough exposed wire to work with, in which case just use some wire strippers to strip off the outer casing to give yourself some more space. Once you have all 3 sets of wires appropriately attached and capped, use some electrical tape to wrap the caps to the wires to make sure everything stays in place nicely. Now, it might not actually be necessary to put those wires from the ceiling through that little hole the way I did. And in fact, doing so made it very difficult for me to get the casing over those wires for the light fixture. So I actually pulled everything apart and pulled those wires back through the top before my husband stepped in to help. And then we wrapped everything back up together properly. When you tuck the wires up into the ceiling to put the fixture in place, be careful to not let any of the wires get folded or crimped, because that can cause some big problems later on. Now, the last thing was to fit those 2 bolts on the harness through those 2 little holes on the fixture. And that did give us a little bit of trouble.
Well, there's one here.
Oh, did you get one? Oh,
yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Do you see the screw?
I see it, yeah, I see it.
Okay, okay. Oh, yeah,
there we go. Yay! And then we added the included caps to the ends of the bolts to hold the whole thing in place. All right, you want to go down and turn the power out? Hey! Woohoo! Yes! It worked! Nice! Oh, dang it. Okay, so then the other.
What?
Too close to this, I can't see it. Even with my glasses. Getting old sucks.